record. Kelsey Mitchell's record's hanging there for now. And Oklahoma's going to get the basketball first. Maddie Williams has it. They go inside to Liz Scott. And we were talking to both head coaches, and they said, look, we know each other so well at this point.
They know what each other do. But the thing is, it's unpredictable between the two because they have the option of shooting the three, both teams. And if you try to take away the perimeter shot, then both teams have the ability to drive it to the paint.
Emily Ryan, now the veteran point guard, her third year as the starting point guard for Iowa State, number 11 in that Cardinal jersey. This lineup, we talked about Ashley Jones, but Stephanie Suarez has been a huge addition this year for Iowa State, a player like they haven't had.
And we heard Rebecca Lobo talk about having the size of Stephanie Suarez in that possession alone. Because of the help inside, that gave time for Ashley Jones to have the shot from the three.
Oklahoma, watch number 22, Anna Yanusa. It's been about a year since her surgery from that ACL repair, and she is back working through some things. She's had 20 points in their last 2 games.
But she is not playing with any hesitation.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of confidence. Feels like she is back now and really throwing caution to the wind.
Liz Scott whistled for her first foul. Ryan kicks it over to Lexi Donarski. Suarez guarded by Scott. Wow, and that's going to be a second foul. 2 quick fouls on Liz Scott. You know, Jenny Baranchek in her second season as Oklahoma's head coach. We were talking to her today at shoot-around, and she said, look, we're better when we're having fun. They weren't getting that ball movement, that intensity that they wanted in their last game against Baylor.
Well, I think with the improvement that Baranchek has brought to the program, the expectations are not only there.
Oh! The block by Maddie Williams.
Bringing the defense. I love Maddie Williams, but like you were talking about, those are plays like that that'll allow the team to have fun. Instead of, okay, we missed a couple of shots and you start worrying that you're not living up to expectations, just go play all out.
Donarski back to Ryan. Dumps it off to Suarez. Up off the glass. Stephanie Suarez, the transfer from NAIA, the Masters University. Bill Finley has become a staple in the Big 12, his 28th season. Last year, just an incredible year for the Cyclones. They set a record with 28 victories, 14 Big 12 victories, went to the Sweet 16 and ended up losing to Creighton.
And he's recruiting players, Bill Finley is, players that fit his system. So you bring in the size of Stephanie Suarez, oh no. She immediately is grabbing her left leg.
And Suarez down on the other end as Oklahoma hits. Iowa State's training staff taking a look at Stephanie Suarez. Taking a look at that left leg of Stephanie Suarez. Two-time NAIA National Player of the Year, was a 3-time first-team All-American.
Been talking to Bill Finley today of talking about what she has brought to this program. Even outside of the talents on the court, she talked about what a great person she was. It only took her about 4 days, and it was as if she had been with this program all along.
That's one of the components, too, of the transfer portal. You might know what you're getting on the court, but what are you getting off the court? And Stephanie has been such a great addition as a Cyclone. They're putting no weight, maybe just a little bit, on that left leg is what they're taking a look at for Stephanie Suarez.
Morgan Kane, number 31, in for the Cyclones, replacing the injured number 10.
Morgan Kane's going to come in
Suarez.
and take a look back at this play where Stephanie Suarez went down. Now you're watching her left leg. It's when she comes back down after shooting. Oh, actually right there. So they're going to walk her back to the locker room. We'll try to get an update for you on Stephanie Suarez, with Morgan Kane coming in to replace her. How does that change things for Iowa State?
Well, Morgan Kane she started 30 games last season. She normally had been in the starting lineup. She'll have to play more minutes now with Suarez back in the locker room.
Donarski working on Tot, back to Ryan. Ashley Jones thinks about the three. Jones missing the layup. Janine Fritz tried to come in and get the rebound, but here comes Oklahoma. Taylor Robertson. Yanusa to the corner. Nevaeh Tot.
Here's what's going to be important for Iowa State in crashing the offensive boards. You're used to having Stephanie Suarez inside. When you don't, and you've sent 5 to the glass, Oklahoma can get out in transition and they could get open to hit that three.
Now Stephanie Suarez, she accounts for almost 11 rebounds per game. Yanusa in transition. Maddie Williams, second life. And it's going to be a traveling violation on Anna Yanusa. Let's take you back to the top three.
This is running in transition. Iowa State sent 5 to the glass, and immediately Oklahoma attacked. And listen, they're not going to wait to run an offense. The first shot that they get is their best shot.
Look, we told you, these are the top 2 offenses in the Big 12. Oklahoma is 5th in the nation in points per game. They average about 8 more points than Iowa State does on the season. Touch. Last by Iowa State will be Oklahoma ball.
Nevaeh Tot, she may only be 5'2", but she can wreak some havoc defensively.
They're going to reverse this. I thought Tot had gotten a touch on that ball before it went out of bounds.
Yeah, I think she had the deflection. I think this is a good change of call. The officials getting it right.
Oklahoma on a 6-0 run. Iowa State's missed its last 4 shots. Nymir Dew into the game. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Lexi Donarski driving baseline, the reigning Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. Was the Freshman of the Year in her first season as a Cyclone. Up and gets the bounce to drop in. Skylar Van.
Van looks over at Baranchek, and for some reason she says, "I'm sorry." So evidently she was supposed to drive it, not just pull up for the jumper.
Well, she got the points.
Exactly. That's where you get the relief.
Donarski, the step back 3 rattles out into the hands of Maddie Williams.
Yeah, Donarski, Emily Ryan, they're going to have to pick things up without Suarez, because that's another area. Stephanie Suarez is a shot blocker, a rim protector. Not having her inside, that allows Oklahoma to drive.
Yeah, she's a big reason why Bill Fenley told us yesterday this has been one of his best defensive teams he's ever had in his 28 seasons at Iowa State. Emily Ryan saw a better opportunity, and she's going to the free throw line. Cyclones outstanding at the free throw line. They shoot 80% as a team. Emily Ryan shoots 95% from the free throw line.
Look, they're so good at the free throw line.
They're coming to sit with us over here.
They don't have to send any rebounders down low. And why do this? Well, number one, you got 4 players that are catching a little rest. Number 2, you don't have to worry about picking up a foul. And number 3, you're already back on defense.
I knew that was going to happen as soon as we talked about it.
We didn't. You did.
Hey! Rude. Now all of Iowa State pulled back with Emily Ryan at the free throw line. Gets 1 of 2. Yeah, something to note on the floor right now. Ashley Jones, number 24 in Cardinal and number 20 in white for Oklahoma. Their sisters, Aubrey Jones, playing against each other for the first time. Aubrey starting her career at Iowa State before transferring this year to Oklahoma.
Bill Finley said that Ashley Jones will be defending her sister Aubrey, number 20 in white.
These are two of the 5 Jones sisters.
Yeah, Ashley was in early, getting up shots, and Aubrey came in. I was expecting maybe to see an embrace between the two sisters, and there's not any hard feelings.
Not at all.
At all. But you saw Aubrey look at Ashley and say, we'll hug after the game.
Yeah, so it's game time.
It's game time, right?
Look, they grew up playing in their neighbor's barn, playing against each other, all 5 sisters. Raina Scott trying to get up ahead to Yanusa, and it goes out of bounds. So we step aside, a close ball game, just as we expected early on here in the first quarter in Norman.
We're here in Norman, Oklahoma, and early in the game, Stephanie Suarez went out. But I'm going to show you what the Iowa State misses without her. She has the ability to shoot the 3, and so the defense has to respect that, and that would open up the lane for Ashley Jones. Again, Suarez in the corner, opening up the lane, and so when Lexi Donarski cuts hard into the basket and the defense has to bite, that gives Ashley Jones more time. It's going to be Morgan Kane that is going to have to step up big now in the absence of Suarez. This is a player that started last year and accepted a new role coming off the bench. Now she's got to be an impact.
And you see how she's improved her physicality over her time at Iowa State. Look, Morgan Kane, not the 3-point threat that Stephanie Suarez is.
Cardinal Sooners, number 2, Raina Scott.
But Kane will shoot the 3. That's not her primary action. You're going to see Morgan Kane more posting up inside. They'll use her in screening action. So the defense doesn't come out and respect her shot. She'll go set a ball screen. No help then. And all the other 4 players on the floor can come off that screen of Kane and pull the trigger.
If you're just joining us, Stephanie Suarez left the game about 2 minutes in, favoring her left leg. They took her straight to the locker room. We'll work to get an update for you. The turnaround, the shot won't go from Kirsten Johnson.
Cyclones foul for 1, Nightmare Dew.
Nightmare Dew whistled for her first foul. And now Raina Scott's an inbound for Oklahoma. Bounces around, and this time out for Skylar Van. Emily Ryan out with it. Tied up at 10. Inside to Jones.
Yeah,
and a travel.
Watch Ashley Jones. She'll start offensively for Iowa State in different spots. You'll see her on the block. You'll see her at the elbow, top of the key, or on the wing.
So they've paused the game here.
So they're going to look at this last play down there, see if there was an unobserved foul that occurred. Looks to me just a basketball call.
The original call was a travel.
I thought that they were looking at what happened on the other end, not the collision with
when Oklahoma was on offense.
Right. Yeah, they're looking at Emily Ryan when she clears it.
That right there?
Yeah, when she clears it with that elbow, led with that left elbow or right elbow.
So the 3 officials have huddled up. Roy Gulbane, Scott Yarbrough, and Kim Hobbs. So they didn't see anything on the monitor.
It just looked like a basketball play. I mean, you're clearing, you kind of protect yourself. I don't think there was anything malicious.
Well, they didn't see anything on the monitor either, so we play on. They back to Yanusa. Baseline! Pretty shot for Anna Yanusa.
It was over 30 days before she was able to, 332 days.
That's a lot more than 30.
Exactly. Coming back from an ACL, and she has been through it through her career here at Oklahoma.
Yeah, made 10 appearances last season before she tore that ACL December 10th against BYU, but missed the previous season before that with a back injury, and then missed some time 3 seasons ago. But she told us today at shoot-around the ACL was the toughest recovery. She said, the times I wanted to quit, but our trainer, Brittany, she kept me locked in.
And because of what the team and Brittany poured into Yanusa, she said now makes her want to give back. And so she wants to be there for her teammates. She wants to be an ear to listen. She makes sure everybody is okay.
Oh, the feed from Raina Scott over to Kirsten Johnson, but she missed the shot.
Johnson ran the floor beautifully, just wasn't able to finish.
Iowa State's won for its last 7, and Morgan Kane fixes that.
Lexi Donarski has the responsibility of staying with Taylor Robinson.
Top of the key for Johnson. Rebound by Dew.
Now Ashley Jones at the top of the key.
Dew will take the 3. Maddie Williams will bring it down the floor. Kennedy Tucker puts up the long ball.
Nobody's going to the glass. Nobody's going for those second chance opportunities. Both teams worried about the transition.
We've only seen 2 total offensive rebounds so far here in the first quarter. There's one. Donarski. Yes!
Basket by Lexi Donarski.
Lexi Donarski is just that all-around player. She has the defensive assignment of guarding Taylor Robertson, but she also is an athlete. She can drive it. She also can shoot it, knocking down that 3.
Bacon from Raina Scott. Back to Jones, getting space. Ashley Jones continuing her 3-point shooting ways. Remember, she's first in Iowa State history in made 3s. The tip by Ryan into the hands of Jones. Travel.
Traveling off the cycle.
Morgan Kane, what's her job? Get Ashley Jones open. Watch her set this screen for Ashley. Makes Maddie Williams have to chase, and as she recovers, little dribble, pull back, step back, and knocks down the 3.
1 minute to go in the first quarter. Todd feeding Colleton.
Things got a lot more even in the height category with Stephanie Suarez being out of this game. She was 6'6".
So she's back over on the Iowa State bench with that left leg wrapped up. Taylor Robertson with the basketball. Oklahoma can take the last shot of the quarter.
Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, though, is guarding Robertson.
Todd will take it. Boom! Nevaeh Todd. Emily Ryan tries the heave, but Oklahoma is going to lead after the first 10 minutes. What a battle. Two top 25 teams in the Big 12. It's a one-point game. Well, Oklahoma head coach Jenny Baranczyk has Iowa ties. She played at Dowling Catholic in Des Moines, Iowa, and then went on to play her college career as an Iowa Hawkeye. And look, we asked her, what was it like? You know, did you get riled up to face Iowa State? Because obviously that rivalry is huge. And she said, yeah, I used to, but now we've played this team. I have so much respect for Iowa State, for Bill Fenley, that it's just another tough game in the Big 12.
One of the first things she said is Bill Fenley has always been good to me. And one of the things she appreciated about Bill Fenley is some coaches, they don't want to talk positive about other coaches and their success. And Bill Fenley is all about being an advocate for this game, for the women's basketball game. And she has great respect for him because of that.
Now, Jenny Baranczyk right now, you look at what she's got on the floor, her second season at Oklahoma. They went 25-9 overall, made the second round of the NCAA tournament last season. She's got Taylor Robertson out there, a sharpshooter, but Robertson hasn't taken a shot yet today.
Well, Robertson hasn't been able to get a shot because Lexi Donarski has been all over her. But Nevaeh Todd, number one, inside, in white, the smallest player on the floor. She's been a factor knocking down those perimeter threes. You look at Todd, does she remind you of anybody? I'll tell you who her mama is. Remember Helen Darling that played at Penn State? And Nevaeh is as feisty as Helen was for the Nittany Lions.
She got a shot today, 2 for 3 from 3. Maddie Williams is whistled for her second foul with Ashley Jones at the free throw line. It is a Big Ten ACC Super Tuesday doubleheader. Number 14 Wisconsin hosting Michigan State at 7 p.m., followed by 11th ranked Virginia and North Carolina. Both games on ESPN and the app. The foul before the ball went inside to Beatrice Colleton.
Second foul number 31, Morgan Kane, her first personal.
It's the first on Morgan Kane. Kane will take a seat. And Izzy Zingaro checks in. If you're just joining us, Stephanie Suarez went down 2 minutes into this game with a left leg injury. She's back on the bench, but has that leg iced up. There she is, Taylor Robertson, second all-time in NCAA history in made threes.
She has such a quick, smooth release, Robertson does.
And a travel on Espen Miller-McGraw. Look, we were here just over 2 hours before the game started. And Taylor Robertson, she hits 300 shots before the game even tips off.
This woman loves to play the game. Watch, she is taking the ball out of bounds. She's the most dangerous player on the floor. You cannot lose sight of the inbounder because as soon as she put it in, inbounded it, she stepped in and knocked down that three.
Top for 2. Rebound by Van. Back to Liz Scott on the floor with 2 fouls.
Where is number 24, Ashley Jones? Yanusa's not going to lose sight of Ashley Jones.
Donarski's pass to Jones got caught up in the net. Oklahoma the other way. Robertson feeding Van over to Liz Scott. Wow, Jenny Baranczyk loves it.
That's the joy and fun Jenny Baranczyk wants her team to have.
They talked about ball movement. They did not have it in the Baylor loss in their last outing. How about that? Lexi Donarski with the answer. A triple. That shot by Donarski ending a 10-2 run by the Sooners.
And the ball has got to continue to move for Oklahoma. Can't overthink things. They've got to trust the process, trust their work, what they've worked on. Lexi Donarski's going to find Taylor Robertson as soon as she crosses half court. Going to keep length and size to take away any open looks from number 30 in white.
There's Yanusa, guarded by Ashley Jones. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Yanusa in the corner. Donarski lets it fly a bit too much. Robertson at the free throw line.
Ashley Jones never stops.
Ashley Jones.
12 points for Ashley Jones. 4 rebounds.
And she's back for her 5th season. Ashley Jones wanted to really work on having higher value going into the WNBA. She loves college.
Liz Scott with the 1-2 step. No, Ashley Jones went to Bill Finley and she said, if it's okay, I'd like to come back.
If it's okay.
Let me think about that. Duh. Zingaro.
Jenny Baranchek said she had to just see how the flow of the game was going to go. Was it paint or was it perimeter? It's been paint. That's the 14th point in the paint for Oklahoma.
Does the pace so far benefit one team over the other?
I think both teams are trying to run, but it's been Oklahoma that has been able to knock down those scoring opportunities and getting right there inside the defense.
Vance put back won't go. A relentless rebound from Ashley Jones. The top 2 offenses in the Big 12. Namir Dew being patient.
Well, somebody else has got to help out for Iowa State. Help out Lexi Donarski and Ashley Jones. Those are the 2. Donarski's got 8. Jones got 12.
Morgan Kane waiting to check in at the table along with Danae Fritz for Iowa State. 4 players for Oklahoma waiting to check in.
And nobody inside for the offensive putback.
Ana Yanusa, no.
Oklahoma want to share the sugar, want to pass it around, moving it. When you share it, good things, they're going to happen. When Oklahoma, that's what Jenny Baranchek has been looking for. Is her team, players not feeling the pressure, one, having to do it by themselves, but doing it collectively and all being able to contribute.
Share the sugar.
Or the Splenda.
Yeah, if you're into the low-calorie option.
Low-calorie option.
Yeah.
Sooners foul number 2, Raina Scott. Her second personal.
Raina Scott whistled for her second foul.
Oklahoma has really attacked that paint without having Stephanie Torres on the floor. And then Oklahoma is up 14-8 points in the paint.
Yeah, 10 of those 14 paint points for Oklahoma came after Stephanie Suarez went down with injury. And you see her there over back on the Iowa State bench. She's got that left leg wrapped up. Don't have an official word. She had ice on it earlier. It looks like her knee pad is back on it. Went down about 2 minutes into this game.
I really hope she's okay. She was having a tremendous season this year, and her value, her draft value was continuing to rise to the WNBA draft.
It's been even here in the second quarter, 11 points apiece for each team here in the second quarter. Kane trying to work down low on Colleton. 8 seconds now for Emily Ryan. Ryan off the screen from Kane, kicks to Dew in the corner. Naimir Dew! Dew.
Dew's got that length, and with the threat offensively from the three-point line, and then look at how long a presence she can have defensively.
Yanusa tries to answer with a three of her own. Now, Danae Fritz hits the deck hard.
That was called the Sooners. Number 4, Kennedy Tucker.
That's on Kennedy Tucker, her first. And Naimir Dew, Bill Finley was telling us she had her best practice before West Virginia, before their West Virginia game. That was their last game they played. And just been trying to find the right way to work her into the lineup because she's definitely improved. Started the last 6 games last year for Iowa State.
Well, when you put Dew on the floor, that means you take Donarski off the floor. And how long can you afford her not to be on the court?
It's an offensive foul on Morgan Kane, her second. And here comes Donarski. She's going to replace Morgan Kane.
So now Iowa State really going with a super small lineup.
Yanusa, she was looking to get it to Colleton. But it results in the turnover.
Now Iowa State can play 5 out. Be interesting to look at where Ashley Jones, where she starts in the offense.
Does that tell you anything, where she starts?
Yeah, she's going to set the screen. She's going to receive a screen.
3 seconds called on Dew.
3 seconds on the line called on Iowa State. And for the Sooners,
what is it about her skill set, talking about Ashley Jones, that they can start her at different places all over the floor?
Well, because of her size, she's about 6'1", 6'2", so she can post up. She also can play out on the perimeter, so the opponents have to decide, do I put a guard on her or do I put a post on her? Because out of having a bigger player defend her, she will take away, she'll pull the defense away from the basket.
Yeah, looking at her, how do you think she stacks up on the next level?
Look, she's got great toughness. She's a 4-level scorer. That's getting in the paint. She's got a mid-range and a 3. That 4th is she can get to the free throw line. And then her basketball IQ. She knows how to take advantage of her opponents and how she's guarded. Bill Finley described her as kind of got the old man at the gym skill set.
Yeah, she got all the moves.
Oh, she can pivot you to death.
Second foul on Kennedy Tucker. Already 14 points, 5 rebounds for Ashley Jones today. She averages 19 a game. Here comes Taylor Robertson back on the floor for Oklahoma. Just 3 points. She's only taken 2 shots.
She got off to a slow start against Baylor, but she still was able to knock down 4 threes. The 2 previous games, she hit 6 threes apiece.
The last 3 games, she's averaging 16.7 points per game. That's 5 points more than her season average. Talking about Robertson. Dew got the first of the free throw line. Adds the second to it.
Bill Finley's having to move his chess pieces around to find different ways to score, adjusting without his 6'6" center in the lineup.
For Oklahoma, they've relied a lot on paint points, but they've also hit 4 threes. Van! Skylar Van back up and in.
You see the encouragement that Jenny Baranczyk is giving to her team after when Van was coming down the floor. She looked over to her head coach and she got that extra encouragement.
They were talking about energy at shoot-around today.
Yeah.
Getting that positive energy for teammates, getting that back. Maybe didn't see that the full game against Baylor.
They were circled at center court, Oklahoma's team was. She even had two teammates come together, kind of have a high five to each other. There was this tube that when a group of them on each side of the tube touched it, it like lit up in the middle, bringing some energy together.
Yeah, good visualization.
I wonder where she got that. We need that here sometimes. You know, can have the energy between us.
We got a lot of energy between us. I'll check on Amazon, though.
Of course you will.
Yeah.
Duke is the only one that has real true size inside defending for Iowa State.
Time!
Todd said, I don't need size. I got that outside jumper.
Shot clock still on for Ryan. Five seconds. Ashley Jones is covered up by Van. And Oklahoma's defense is going to force a shot clock violation.
But 2.3 seconds. Taylor Robertson hit the half-court shot at shoot-around this morning.
They give it up to Todd. She turns it over to Ryan. 1-point game at the half. Iowa State up 36-35. Drea, take it away. Welcome back to the Big 12 on ESPN. Oklahoma led by a point at the end of the first quarter. Iowa State leads by a point at halftime. That's the kind of game that we've had here, Carol. In fact, it's been a battle between the top two offenses in the Big 12. Oklahoma's found success in the paint.
Well, running in transition, and they also have done a nice job of getting on the glass. Oklahoma has 7 offensive rebounds, but for Iowa State, it has been Ashley Jones that has scored in so many different ways. Bill Finley has moved her to different spots on the floor from the wing. She also has had the opportunity to get on that baseline, knock down the three, and she's always moving, always running, creating tough twos, running in transition.
16 points, 5 rebounds, the queen of the ice bath, Ashley Jones, because she is always battling. Stephanie Suarez for Iowa State went down about 2 minutes into this game, favoring her left leg. We are told she is questionable to return. They don't think she will play again today. She's over on the Iowa State bench. Here's Lexi Donarski. In trouble, goes to the corner. Donarski working on Robertson. Ryan gets held up at the free throw line. 8 seconds for Morgan Kane. Can't go over her defender, Liz Scott.
That's where Kane just is not able to be as efficient inside as they would be if Stephanie Suarez was on the floor.
Look at the relentless effort from Liz Scott.
Oklahoma has been intentional about going inside and getting paint points, but look, there's a stat that's here that I am so shocked and surprised. As much as Oklahoma has gone inside, they have not shot a free throw today.
That is surprising. Meanwhile, Iowa State is 11 for 12 from the free throw line. And Kane is fouled by Liz Scott. That's going to be her third.
Foul is called to the Sooners, number 34, Liz Scott. Her third personal, team foul number 1.
Scott picked up 2 fouls early in this game. Has only played 8 minutes, and she'll have to sub back out. They'll bring in Beatrice Colatone.
Colton she made her presence felt in that first half. She's posting up big, calling for the ball down low for Oklahoma.
How do you think Oklahoma has compared to its last game? It was just their second loss of the season. They lost to Baylor.
They got off to a much better start. I think their biggest problem against Baylor is they spotted the Baylor Bears 16 in that first quarter.
No, they trailed 21-5 at the start. Foul on Kane. That's her third.
Foul number 31, Morgan Kane. Her third personal, team foul number 1.
You got the shooter taking the ball out. Taylor Robertson. Remember that first half underneath out of bounds. She inbounds it, finds that open spot, number 30 in white, to find her 3.
Robertson only has 3 points. She's taken 2 shots. Maddie Williams, it rolls around and out, and a foul.
This will be Oklahoma's first trip to the free throw line today.
Foul on Izzy Zingaro, who just checked in to replace Morgan Kane.
I love Maddie Williams' energy inside, the intensity. Jenny Baranchek said her intensity and competitiveness that she brings, the rest of the team follows her.
We were talking about her on the next level, maybe a hidden gem for some WNBA team.
I believe that, I don't think she'll go in the first round, but I think she could be a second or third rounder that could make a roster if she gets into camp for the right team. The reason I say that is because she brings a competitive nature. She's a big guard, versatility. She's a guard that's willing to rebound. One of the areas that Jenny Baranchek said she's talked to GMs about, they want to see if she can shoot it consistently. She said Maddie Williams has a beautiful stroke, but she doesn't always have to use it. Playing in this system, they need her more attacking the basket and being available to get on the glass.
So she comes out with a rebound. The miss by Ashley Jones. Feeding Yanusa. How about that little dime?
I mean, she's a smart player, Maddie Williams is. And the confidence that she has, I believe she could go into a WNBA camp and command a spot.
Now, Jenny Baranchek, you asked her, what do you need Maddie Williams to do for this team? She said, set the tone, the intensity tone. She can totally change the game. She did that in the Florida game.
Because Maddie Williams, she can get on 11, not even 10. She can get on 11, and sometimes the rest of her team is not there. She has to meet them where they are and then bring them along. Look at how she sees the floor, Maddie Williams, running in transition, just drops a dime right there to Yanusa.
Ryan all the way through is trying to feed Donarski. It'll be Oklahoma ball.
And who was involved in that defensive play? Nevaeh Tot. Again, she is everywhere. When you are a smaller player on the court, you've got to make yourself valuable. How does she do that? She brings that defensive intensity, and she's already shown us she can knock down that perimeter shot.
We'll stay with Oklahoma at Nevaeh Tot. She had a total of 11 points in her last 2 meetings against this Iowa State team, and she's already got 9. Three for 6 from behind the arc.
Tot sees the floor.
But she saw Robertson, but a hand from Iowa State got in the way.
Foul number 15 is Zingaro.
Now, I'll tell my age, but I coached at Purdue when Helen Darling was playing.
Todd's mom?
Yes, playing at Penn State. And when I watched Nevaeh on the floor, I mean, it's like having flashbacks of Helen Darling.
Maddie Williams trying to save it. All the hustle, all the fight there. but Oklahoma doesn't come away with any points.
Maddie's not going to give up on a play now.
And for Iowa State, number 1.
I love the energy that Williams brings to the court for Oklahoma.
And she's talked recently about how she's trying to be aggressive all the time.
But she's got to be aggressive and stay out of foul trouble.
Yes.
And she got in some foul trouble against Baylor.
Dew gets stopped by Williams. Up ahead to Yanusa. Robertson just covered up by Donarski, but blows past her. Taylor Robertson with her second field goal. She's got 5. Iowa State has made it tough on her today.
And a great game going back and forth.
Ashley Jones' shot rolls out.
Each team is taking away the other's plan A. Look at the last possession. Plan A is for Taylor Robertson to shoot the 3, but when the defense pressured her, that made Taylor go to plan B and drive to the basket. Oklahoma now, where Iowa State's got to find ways to manufacture points, and they're going to have to get that from Ashley Robinson, Lexi Donarski, and Emily Ryan's got to score some points. The point guard, number 11, with the ball right now.
Ryan just 1 point. She's 0 for 2. This is Donarski working on Yanusa. Off the side of the backboard. The trail, Van.
But when Van got ready to shoot the shot, Jeannie Baranchek was jumping up and down. She wanted her to hit that one.
Nevaeh tying it up. Possession arrow to Iowa State.
Possession state to Iowa State.
There comes Kennedy Tucker into the game for Oklahoma. She'll replace Maddie Williams.
Donarski and Ashley Jones on the same side in this stack. Those are the 2 top scoring options.
Iowa State looking for its first field goal here in the 3rd quarter. They're 0 for 6.
And Oklahoma changing up defenses, going a little zone.
10 seconds. Ashley Jones with the 3, no. Yanusa down the floor, back to Tot. Tot to the free throw line. She'll shoot when we come back.
Oklahoma right now taking care of home court. Yanusa to Robertson. Little shot fake, shake and bake. Finish till the cake is done.
This game of the year coming up. Are you ready?
Yeah, oh yeah, and there's something for everybody. Did you see the very last one? The marching bands. You can even, if you're, not so much into the game itself, but what the band's going to do. It's all covered.
All of it. You got your snacks ready?
Get your snacks. I will actually be on the road, but I will find a place to watch that football game.
Will you be having a large meal for lunch and a snack for dinner?
I will. No, I'll probably have a snack for lunch and have a large meal while I'm watching a football game.
Well, Oklahoma with its largest lead. Iowa State has not hit a field goal in this game in this quarter. From range, Taylor Robertson fires it up. Look, we were talking in the break. These are the top 2 offenses in the Big 12, but their defenses have shown up today.
We talked to Taylor Robertson this morning, and she said, everybody talks about how many points we score, but she said we defend. Almost offended that she didn't get enough, her team doesn't get enough respect for the defense that they play.
First field goal in the 3rd quarter, thanks to Naimir Dew for Iowa State. Anna Yanusa right in the paint, and that's where Oklahoma has been thriving today.
She is such a great story, coming back after all the injuries and what she's able to do on the floor right now. When she stepped back out on the floor, she was an instant value.
Passing by Ryan was good.
Emily Ryan is going to have to provide a little more of the offense. She's averaging 12 points on the season.
On the Generals, number 20 for the Sooners.
Emily Ryan, as soon as she stepped on campus for Iowa State, she became the starting point guard as a freshman. It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, she got the keys to the bus right away.
It's a big bus. You got to fit a Cyclone in it.
And Bill Finley has told her, look, you are a scoring point guard. She's got to look for opportunities to score, not just distribute.
Van's shot out. Rebound by Ashley Jones up to Donarski. Going all the way, Lexi Donarski. 10 points for Lexi.
Got to believe Iowa State wants to pick up the tempo of this game, but they got to get back on transition defense.
Skylar Van. Van had 7 points in the loss to Baylor. She's already got 6 points here and 8 rebounds. Todd back to Yanusa for 3. In for Ana Yanusa.
Iowa State, they need an answer on the road right now. They don't want to allow this crowd to get into it.
Travel and the turnover.
This is Jones versus Jones. You see older sister Ashley Jones getting the rebound over Aubrey, and then Donarski heads the other direction to score in transition. But Oklahoma continues to have an answer. Ana Yanusa able to knock down the 3.
Maddie Williams inside, guarded by Fritz. Second chance. And Maddie Williams to the free throw line. Oklahoma did not attempt a free throw in the first half.
Number 3, Fritz. First personal, team number 5.
First on Fritz.
Maddie Williams shooting 2.
There's 2 points for Maddie Williams, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. May get 3 points.
Well, Maddie Williams is normally averaging 16 points a game.
Largest lead for Oklahoma, and Iowa State's going to call timeout. It's a 7-0 run by the Sooners here in the third quarter. We'll step aside. Oklahoma leading 52-45.
In their lead, and it's not from Taylor Robinson, but it's been Ana Yanusa who's been able to score inside and out, and Nevaeh Todd, she has found her opportunities from beyond the three-point arc, getting the extra, paying it off, knocking it down. Might be the smallest player on the floor, but she's making a huge impact for the Sooners today.
She's tied her career high with 3 made threes in this ball game. Oklahoma on a 7-0 run as Emily Ryan hits the deck.
Sooners foul number 22 on Yanusa.
Now here's what I think Iowa State will look to do now to get themselves back in the ball game, because they've been able to get to the free throw line with a frequency. But what they can't get to the free throw line by just shooting on the perimeter. You've got to find those driving opportunities.
Iowa State 14 of 15 from the free throw line. Inside to Do. Back to the free throw line.
Well, and what happened on that play is Ashley Jones looks for Dew to post up, which she doesn't have it. Then Ashley tried to attack to the middle of the floor. In that gap defense, everybody really shrinks to the ball. That allows Dew to get better post position, and then Ashley Jones makes the pass inside.
Nightmare Dew adding to her season high, now at 10 points.
Yeah, free throws are going to be the way that Iowa State can get themselves back into this game.
Aubrey Jones. I think they're going to get Ashley Jones on a foul.
Yeah.
Second foul, number 24, Ashley Jones. First person.
That's her first.
Following Yanusa, shoot 2.
I love the presence of Yanusa, and she talked about it's really a three-headed leadership board with Maddie Williams, Taylor Robinson, and Anna Yanusa. Taylor Robinson brings the passion and play for the game. Maddie Williams brings the intensity, but it's Yanusa who's like, I want to check out what everybody else needs, make sure everybody else is okay.
You know, Taylor Robertson told us those three, they all have that winning mentality. That's the third on Maddie Williams.
It's going to be that driving action from Iowa State. Get the score or get yourself to the free throw line. Last week, Courtney, you and I, we had us an overtime game in Bloomington, Indiana. Could we have one here in Norman, Oklahoma?
I mean, it's been close. It was Oklahoma leading by a point at the end of the first quarter. Iowa State led by a point at halftime. Swish for Kennedy Tucker. 7 threes for Oklahoma. About a 5-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock.
On this double high screen, the two setting the screen, one's going to pop high, the other one's going to slip to the basket.
Jones working hard on Yanusa, but it's tipped away. Oklahoma ball. 4.5 on the clock.
Immediately, Taylor Robinson let her teammates know, look, we still have 4 seconds. That's plenty of time.
Got to get it in. Yanusa, the deep three. Anna Yanusa making it look easy. It's a 6-0 run for Oklahoma.
When you're a fifth-year student, you've got a clock going on in your head. You recognize when the clock is running down. You don't panic, you stay poised, you knock it down just like that, like Anna Yanusa.
And we have some deals for you. Take advantage of our deal. That includes both men.
Before the break, and we were just reflecting back on her timeline. It's been about a year since she had surgery with her ACL tear from last season. She had surgery on January 6th, and the rehab really tough on her, but look what she's been able to do and battle her way back.
Well, this is a woman that her freshman year, she made the All-Big 12 All-Freshman team and had high hopes of making a major impact on this program. But it just seemed like each season after that, she had to overcome those obstacles. You talked about the ACL. and how tough that was, but she had lost a step. She's back on the court. Other than wearing that brace, she's been able to move, she's been able to be effective, and she brings tremendous confidence on the floor for these Oklahoma Sooners.
Well, you asked her, what is your why? And she said, I remember sitting up in the stands here in this arena at 6 years old with my parents, coming to every home game.
She was watching Courtney and Ashley Pears, and she's like, I wanted to be them. Now, she knew that she was never going to play that position, but she said for some reason, at 6 years old, that's who she looked up to.
Ashley Jones hits from range. Iowa State was outscored 24-12 in the third quarter. Oklahoma had runs of 6-0, 7-0, and then 6-0 again in that third quarter.
Sister versus sister.
Oh! Upper shot rolls around. You think she's taken Ashley one-on-one a few times in her day?
Oh, I would say in her neighbor's barn.
Yeah.
Probably just outside her dad's restaurant. They probably had some competition going on.
And that's how all 5 Jones sisters kept up basketball during COVID, playing basketball in a neighbor's barn.
Well, that's how both sisters have been able to develop their games, going and being challenged by each other. There's 5 of them. 5 of the Jones sisters.
Now the oldest, Courtney, played at Illinois. Donarski, just a clear lane to the basket. She's got 12. Van out to Tot. Saves it on 1 foot.
If Iowa State's going to make a run, they need to do it now with, said Maddie Williams on the bench.
Skylar Van, the step back 3.
Let's start with the assists.
Nine made threes for Oklahoma. They wave off the shot. This will be a foul on Kennedy Tucker.
Skylar Van, good footwork, loses Ashley Jones, and when she finds her spot, she's able to knock it down.
Van has given some really valuable minutes today. 9 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. Fritz. They whistle the blocking foul. And that's on Liz Scott, her 4th. She's been in foul trouble most of today.
Gotta believe Liz Scott was in that restricted area. Rotated over, but when you rotate, you've got to rotate and get outside that painted arc on the floor.
Play, 2 points, Donarski.
Going to the basket. That's how Iowa State's going to get themselves back in the ball game. Lexi Donarski used her quickness on that hard cut to the basket. She's up top of your screen, number 21, and just a hard flash to the basket. She beats Tot and gets the easy 2.
Tucker lets it fly. Rebound by Kane. Emily Ryan trying to get some more paint points. Look, Iowa State at the half, they only had 8 paint points. They're up to 18 now. That's been more of an emphasis.
And cycles line for the Sooners, number 25, Maddie Williams.
Maddie Williams back in for Oklahoma.
Number 22, Molly Ganusa.
Oklahoma controlling the glass. But Iowa State, they've got to continue to attack the rim. Then they can score, chip in this lead with the clock stopped.
Emily Ryan got open. crushed it.
I like that shot fake. Knew the defense was going to be flying at her.
That's just the second field goal by Ryan. The pass from Maddie Williams over to Colleton. That ball movement, it pays off for Oklahoma. Sooners on top, 64-58. Two of the top teams in the Big 12 going at it. Oklahoma outscored Iowa State 24-12 in the third quarter, but now the Cyclones finding that rhythm here in the fourth quarter, and they're doing it by getting in the paint.
Well, they've done so in having cuts to the basket. We talked about the underneath out of bounds. It was Lexi Donarski cutting to the basket. That's what Iowa State's going to have to do now in attacking the paint to balance things out.
Yeah, Oklahoma has gotten the majority of their points in the paint. Well, they've outscored Iowa State in the paint.
Well, they've been able to do so with Stephanie Suarez out. Their 6'6" defender of Iowa State. Been out since early in that first quarter.
Yeah, she averages a double-double. She went down 2 minutes into this game with what looked like a left leg injury. Came back out, has been on the bench.
Yeah, they're going to have her evaluated once they get back to Ames. I hope it's an encouraging sign. We saw her walking.
Yep, she walked out of the locker room at halftime. Just has a compression sleeve on that left leg right now. Here's Ashley Jones. She's got 20 points, 6 rebounds. Inside to Kane, to Donarski for 3. Had all the time to sit there and wait for it.
If Donarski gets it all lined up, you can forget about it.
Look, in Iowa State, it can be a dangerous three-point shooting team. I know their three-point shooting isn't what it was last season when they set a school record and made threes, but still, any one of these players can go off.
Bill Finley said that a lot of people might be panicked about if they look at the three-point field goal percentage, but he said, hey, I know I got guys that can knock down the three. They have done it before. It's just a matter of time of when that shot's going to come, and it seems to be coming at the right time for Lexi Donarski today.
Iowa State 10th in the nation in made threes per game. They average about 9 a game. They're at 8 today. Taylor Robertson at the free throw line.
Donarski's hit 3. Ashley Jones, she's hit 3. Emily Ryan is more than capable.
Taylor Robertson, all 3.
She's going to get her 3 points at a time, one way or the other.
Yeah, Iowa State's defense has done a very good job of keeping the ball out of Taylor Robertson's hands and not letting her get a shot off. She's just 2 for 4 from the field. Crossover by Donarski.
Oklahoma had... Now, Maddie Williams has the responsibility of Ashley Jones, so Dude's going to be the option.
That puts her at 14 points. Her career high is 15. Then she went down on the floor, other end of the floor, and played some defense.
One possession game.
Emily Ryan waiting in the corner.
The focus of the Oklahoma defense is, where is Ashley Jones? They're shifting. You can't forget about Dew. Every player in Iowa State uniform is a threat, and Dew is bringing the length inside to help protect the paint.
There was a blocking foul called on Taylor Robertson, not on the shot. Jones working on Todd. There's a mismatch in size there, and Ashley Jones will go back to the free throw line. That's the 4th on Maddie Williams, so 2 quick fouls for Williams.
Iowa State going to some dribble drive action, knowing that Oklahoma will switch on those ball screens, so they'll keep running that until they get the mismatch that they want.
Two for Ashley Jones. Foul whistled on Emily Ryan of Iowa State. That's her fourth.
That's crucial with a little less than 5 minutes left to go in the game.
And nobody waiting at the table. Ryan's going to stay out there. That's the point guard for Iowa State.
Now, if you're Oklahoma, you can't let Ashley Jones touch the basketball.
The steal by Yanusa. Whips it around Emily Ryan. Give her two. 20 points for Ana Yanusa. She's now had 20 points in their last 3 games. Jones with her own rebound. It's going to be Oklahoma ball.
Fifth-year student, fifth-year player that recognizes, reads, reacts, gets the steal and the finish.
Skylar Vance hook won't fall. Iowa State won both meetings against Oklahoma last season. Sooners trying to get back in the win column against the Cyclones.
But if Iowa State wants to steal one on the road here in Oklahoma, they're going to have to play through Lexi Donarski and Ashley Jones.
Lexi Donarski, shooting 2.
Donarski at the line, 17 points. She's hit 3 threes.
She's a 96% free throw shooter. She missed her first.
Got the second. Remember, too, Iowa State's point guard, Emily Ryan, is out there with 4 fouls, so she has to be cautious. It's number 11 in Cardinal. Aubrey Jones through a double team.
You know Aubrey Jones wants to get this win playing against her former team and her sister.
Danae Fritz. Her first points are a 3, and that's 10 made threes for Iowa State. Williams getting her own rebound. In all kinds of traffic. Stopped by Fritz. Possession arrow to Iowa State.
Maddie Williams was doing all she could to try to put in work down low. You see Maddie Williams, this is what I love about her game. She never stops on a play. She's not afraid to mix it up. Get messy in the mess.
Iowa State with its first lead since the 8:36 mark in the 3rd quarter. Fritz again, short. Oklahoma ball.
Taylor Robertson, number 30 for the Sooners.
Iowa State has outscored Oklahoma in the 4th 22-10. What's been different?
There's just been more intensity inside. Aggressive. Oh, nice cut.
The kick out to Jones for the three.
That would have been huge for Iowa State. Going attack inside and then the kick out to the perimeter.
They whistled nightmare due for the foul.
Williams, number 25, in for the Sooners.
Williams back in, Kennedy Tucker out. Oklahoma has missed its last 5 shots. They haven't scored in over 2 minutes.
Dude's gotten tougher in the paint, defending inside. Now Fritz has Maddie Williams.
The take from Skylar Vann. Oklahoma back on top.
Emily Ryan almost carried it.
Instead, she's going to lay it in. Maddie Williams working on Fritz. And Fritz fouls her.
This is when Maddie Williams can shine. Game's on the line. You need work done in the paint. Number 25 in white can be your go-to.
Williams has struggled offensively today, but we haven't seen that let the other interfere with the other aspects of her game. Still 8 rebounds, 3 assists.
And at times she has had to defend Ashley Jones or take on a Morgan Kane that's trying to post up inside. She has been willing to mix it up with the bigs in the paint.
Gets the 2 free throws. Oklahoma up by a point.
All right, center fans, you know the story. Let's go, make some noise.
Under 90 seconds to play. Todd fouls Donarski.
Capital Sooners, number 1, Amanda Todd, second personal.
That's the second on Todd.
Maddie Williams, number 25.
Both teams in the bonus, so on any foul, either team will be shooting.
Let's see Donarski at the line. 2 shots.
See, watching Emily Ryan with the other 4 on the other end, talking to the team about how defensively they've got to stay locked in.
Iowa State has scored 22 points at the free throw line today. Yanusa with the quick 3. My goodness, Anna Yanusa, almost automatic. A minute to go. Jones sees an opening. Count it. Ashley Jones to the free throw line. Anna Yanusa is 4 of 9 from 3.
And this 3 was contested. You watch, she comes, you got 2 Iowa State Cyclone players coming at you. She says no problem. When she released it, she was headed the other direction. She knew it was good.
Iowa State in the lead. Tension starting to rise here in Norman.
Oklahoma needs to look at getting something going to the basket unless it's Anna Yanusa.
Here goes Todd. Nevaeh, Todd going to the basket. Oklahoma up by a point, and Iowa State is going to call timeout. We step aside, but just for 30 seconds. A close one in Norman. Don't go anywhere. Seconds remaining. Iowa State calls a timeout. They do advance the basketball.
Now, when you look at the shot clock, there's 5 extra seconds. So Iowa State can't just dribble it down until the last few seconds, because that would give Oklahoma an opportunity. What I feel like they need to do is they've got to take the first good shot they have. Now, they don't need to just jack it up, but get something, because they've been successful going to the basket. They've been able to get to the free throw line. Oklahoma, they're going to try to get a 5-second clock, 5-second count.
Emily Ryan inbounds it to Do, and she'll come and get it.
Oklahoma doesn't have to foul.
Ryan working on Tucker. Back out to Jones. Ashley Jones spinning all the way around and misses. Fights Maddie Williams for the rebound. The putback by Ashley Jones.
Oklahoma not going to use a timeout. They're just going to bring it.
Iowa State up by a point. Back the other way. Skylar Van. Iowa State using another timeout to advance the ball. We talked about Skylar Van playing some key minutes. Wow.
Skylar Van has a height advantage. She has a size advantage and a muscle advantage in the paint. Evidently, Jenny Baranczyk talked to her team about if they score, this is what we're going to run, so she didn't have to burn a timeout. So when Oklahoma came down the floor, immediately they went to Van, posting up inside.
So Iowa State will have 1 timeout remaining. Oklahoma still has 3 timeouts.
Ashley Jones, I knew Iowa State would use something to go to the basket, and Ashley Jones doesn't put on a play. She misses the shot. She stays after it. Dude's in there as well. The heads-up play to continue to stay with it, to get the finish, go up 1, and then how is it that Ashley Jones is the one that has to come down and defend on the other end after she just scored?
Iowa State down by a point, 2.2 seconds. They give it back to Jones, and she's stopped by Maddie Williams. Timeout, Oklahoma. You talked about the value of Maddie Williams.
The defense that she brings. It's not always in the scoring column where a player really brings something. Well, Maddie Williams brings that toughness. Jenny Baranczyk said, I mean this in a term of endearment, but Maddie Williams is that dog. She brings the defense, and she brings the intensity, the competitiveness. She got the stop right there, then protects the basketball, and a heads-up play to recognize, I'm going to call timeout and advance the ball. Get the ball from underneath Iowa State's basket.
If she had dribbled or made a basketball move, she would not be able to call timeout and advance the ball. So Maddie Williams, a very heads-up play. Looking at that again, no foul there, right? You didn't see anything.
I did not. I thought Maddie Williams was straight up. So the officials are double-checking the clock to make sure how much time should be on there. But on that last play, Maddie Williams, as she knew Ashley Jones was going to attack the basket. The smart thing that Maddie Williams did is when Jones went up, she didn't jump. She didn't slide down. She was able just to deflect the ball on the shot, rebound it, and pull it in.
So 2 seconds on the clock now. Oklahoma does have 2 timeouts remaining. What are you doing if you're Iowa State?
Iowa State, Lexi Donarski, I'm screening for her. Oh, no, you got to foul.
Yeah.
You got to foul. You got to foul right away.
See if they can force the 5-second call. If you're Iowa State's defense, they get it in, and immediately Taylor Robertson is fouled by Fritz.
That's the one person you didn't want to get the ball inbounded to.
1.1 showing on the clock. We've been tied 9 times. We've had 25 lead changes today.
This game has been back and forth, and it's what you expect. Jenny Baranchak has brought this Oklahoma team back. Iowa State has put things together. Just unfortunately, they lost Stephanie Flores in the first quarter. She hasn't been able to return to this game.
I think they're looking at the clock to double check it. We just saw Bill Fenley say, as soon as you get the rebound, call timeout. They have one timeout remaining. This was 2 minutes into the game. Stephanie Suarez, number 10 in Cardinal, went down with a left leg injury and was not able to return to this game. This is a player that averages a double-double. Taylor Robertson with 2 free throws coming.
Yeah, Suarez, and if she wasn't blocking shots, she was altering a lot of shots in the paint. That's how Oklahoma has been able to attack inside without her presence.
If Robertson hits his first one, are you missing the second one on purpose?
No, because the clock won't start till the possession. So go ahead and make as many as you can. Upstate's got to box out, just in case.
Robertson gets them both. And now Iowa State uses its final timeout. They will advance the ball. Clock showing 1.6 seconds, so you can catch and shoot.
Catch and shoot, being up 3. This is the big question. Should you just foul?
If you're Oklahoma.
If you're Oklahoma, right? Because a 3 would tie it up. If you foul and they're active shooting, then they would just make 2.
As long as they're not shooting a 3.
As long as they're not shooting.
Well, there's some big plays that have happened and big moments in this game. Yanusa with the 3. Ashley Jones, just the workhorse that she is.
Yeah, this game's been great. Going back and forth. Neither team has given up on the fight. There's been a battle down to the end.
And then Skylar Vann with that bucket to put Oklahoma back on top. Maddie Williams, a little defense in the biggest moment.
That was a huge stop for Maddie Williams.
Ashley Jones with 27 points, 9 rebounds, but Yanusa, 23 points. She's hit 4 threes.
Oklahoma won the battle of points in the paint. It was Iowa State that was able to get to the free throw line. If I'm Oklahoma right now, I'm thinking foul. I'm thinking foul. Send them to the free throw line.
We'll just make sure they're not in the act of shooting a 3. Kimberly Ryan to inbound. Dew takes the 3, and I think it was tipped. Boomer Sooner, Oklahoma. Take it down, Iowa State. You knew coming in it was going to be a close ball game.